Es ist schon am Recorden, denke ich jetzt,
Yes,
ne?
yeah.
Okay, great. All right. So I'm super excited today because I am with Butchvoyage. He's a super cool, energetic DJ with house music DJ. And I'm super excited to have him here today because I was really impressed by his work, his page, the energy on his page, and the music that he creates. And obviously, I'm a music lover. And yeah, and so I was really intrigued to bring him on. You're actually the first DJ as well, so on this podcast. So I'm super excited because I would love to hear more about your journey, how you became a DJ, what's your backstory, and and just to have a chat. So thank you so much for being on this podcast.
Thanks for having me, Maria. I'm super excited as well. And yeah, I'm excited. And nice to hear that I'm the first DJ
Yes.
you're interviewing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a real pleasure. So tell me a little bit about like what was the thing that started off your connection to music?
Connection to music, I guess it started when I was a child. I was on stage, I guess, when I was 6 or something. It was the first time I was performing. It was this Spanish song. It's called Bailando. I don't know if you guys know that. Um, I was on a wedding with my parents and with my grandma, and there were about 200 to 300 people. And for some reason, I don't know why that happened. I took the microphone and I was just performing, like lip syncing the song and dancing on stage. There was a friend with me. He was about 8, I guess, and I think at that time I was realizing that I'm into music, that I'm into entertaining people. And also during my teenager time, I performed Michael Jackson on stage and stuff like that. So I see myself also as a entertainer. And I guess at that time it was, yeah, when I started being into music.
Wow, love it. That's really nice. And so what feeling do you get when you are right now, when you are like on the decks? What's the feeling that you get from playing your music?
Um, I guess it's not an easy question because first of all, um, I was recognizing when I'm talking with people about feelings and stuff. I think some people they misunderstand what a feeling really is, and so do I sometimes. Sometimes we think we feel, but it's not really the feeling, right? And so why I'm saying this is because when I'm on stage or when I'm playing music, it's that I think I stop thinking and I'm just in the moment. It is the feeling what it describes the best. It's maybe gratitude or peace. I mean, I also feel pleasure and fun and all that kind of things, but it's more, yeah, I'm just there. I'm just in the moment, and I am enjoying just being there and entertaining people and also feeling their energy on stage. So this is what I think what describes the feeling the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. No, well, that's that's kind of like I guess if you imagine like, for your life, the state, I guess, you would
Right.
want to be in as often as we can, right? In the state of, I guess, presence and what was it, peace and
Right,
uh
it's presence. And I think every one of us had that already when we are on a festival, when we are in a bar, or when we are listening to music, when we are at home. Sometimes we are just there, and there's not really a feeling. It's just the presence, as you said.
you just started to say something super interesting actually about feelings and how do we truly know what we're feeling and, is it a feeling or what is it? So I'm curious to hear more about that in that conversation perhaps that you had with your friend about what is it that I'm feeling. I think that'll be really interesting as well for the people who are listening right now. Actually, what is it that you're feeling? As
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So first of all, I love that we are really into this deep conversation right now. Um, so maybe. we should ask yourself first who we are. And this is, I think, one of the most important question in life. And maybe if we have not the right answer, this is why people are struggling in their jobs or with their creativity. And I am into Zen. I don't know if you ever heard about Zen. And just 2 weeks ago, I was on a retreat and I did sesshin there. And that means that I sit there for 4 days, at least 5 hours a day, just sitting. And yeah, just try not to think. Okay, because I mean we are human beings with a mind and with a conditioned mind. And every day we think we are what we think, but this is not what we are, right? So being conscious about that we are not our thoughts, that we are not our mind, and then start to listen to your inner body. Where is it? What is it? How does it feels like? And by knowing that if you're talking about the feeling, it is not the feeling itself. It is just a word that we use for the feeling. And how you get to know to that point that you know it is truly your feeling. It is about, so this is what I do. It's just I sit there, listen to my inner body, and then trying to recognize what it is, where it is, and just be conscious or just be aware about that feeling. And this is how I can, or how I try to explain what a feeling is. But again, by knowing that when I'm trying to explain what the feeling is, it is not a feeling itself. Every one of us has to experience that by themselves.
Yeah. This is a super interesting conversation as well, because you mentioned so many things that I would love to touch on, like we are not our thoughts. And sometimes we become our thoughts as well, don't we? Like we think about something and then we're attracting certain things, but we are not our thoughts, but we buy into our thoughts a lot automatically.
Right. Our sorry. Our mind is a wonderful tool, right? If we use it wisely, it's perfect. We can create with our mind wonderful things, but we are not our mind. So it is a tool what we can use, but
Yes.
we should be aware that, uh, because our mind is telling us the story again and again and again, and mostly there are not that nice thoughts, right? Just accepting that there are the thoughts and the radio is continue every day. Just accept that.
I love that. We are not our thoughts. It's a tool. It's so important, to actually, recognize those nuances, to understand them, because I think with the majority, they identify with their thoughts, don't they? So this is
Absolutely, yeah.
really empowering, just this bit that you mentioned. Yeah. Thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
so yeah, and the feelings as well is like, becoming the observer of your feelings, and you noticing how it moves through your body as well. It's like, I know feelings and emotions are different too, but I love always to think about emotions as like the energy in motion, and how it's literally flowing through our bodies, or
Absolutely.
sometimes actually getting stuck.
Yeah. And I mean, there's also a link to music, because music helps me, as I mentioned before, just to be in the moment and accept what it is right now, and maybe stop thinking for a while and be the music, listen to the music, whatever it is, but just, yeah, stop thinking and recognizing that it is just the mind and it is not me.
Yeah, yeah. When did you start? You talked about Zen, and then the other one that you talked about, I can't remember the name of it. Can you repeat that name, where you were just on a retreat and you did something? I don't know. What
Yeah,
was
so Zen is Zen is not a religion, but Zen is a tradition, and Shesin is
it?
is the practicing is a practicing part of Zen. And Shesin means that I mean, I was with a group. It was around 30 people, and we had our Zen master was also there, and we were sitting there 40 minutes 2 times. Then we had a little break. Then we're sitting there again 30 minutes 3 times. Had a little break, and by sitting there, I mean, I'm just repeating what our Zen master taught me. So by sitting there, most of the people think when you sit or when you do meditation, it is about calming down, relaxing, forget the day, forget the stress, forget the struggle. But what he says is it is just a consequence of what can happen when you get a taste of the present moment. Rather saying, he says, when you sit there, you're in the best circumstances for becoming awakened. This is what he says. And by being awakened or becoming awakened, it is not something that is happening to you. He says it is always there because, I mean, you are already awakened, I'm already awakened, but maybe it is just covered by something, maybe by our thoughts, maybe by whatever. And when you sit and just do nothing, you're in the best circumstances that you can get or feel this experience.
Yeah. So what does awakening mean to you, or what, or yeah, what does awakening mean?
Mm, I'm, I mean, it's also a tough and a difficult question because so first of all, I think everyone has to explore, discover, and experience that by themselves. So maybe it's different for everybody, but what does it mean for me is like, as we already mentioned, like being in the present moment, and that we are not, or that I am not trapped in my thoughts,
Mm.
or also seeing or recognizing the reality of what it is. And by saying that, I mean that I am also conscious about that there is not the reality or the truth. It is always how I see it. So life is so complex that I cannot understand everything. And by saying being awakened, it's also accepting that I don't know everything. I just know what I can know, and just be where I am right now. For example, right now we're just talking. I mean, there are so many things happening, but it's right now it's just a talk between you and me.
Yeah, it's really nice to actually talk to you. Like you have such a humble way, and like you can really notice the wisdom. I know that everyone's the truth in general is different for everyone, or the experience, but yeah, there's something about what you say and how you say it that I think is very humble and has depth to it. So I'm curious, like when, I mean, I know you have a Zen master, but when did you start all this? Like when did you get curious, I guess, about those topics, and when was that moment?
Oh, I guess it was, I mean, by naming a date, maybe 2018 or anything. I did um I was traveling to the States, to California, and also to Southeast Asia. And there I started to get out of my bubble. I'm sorry, to get out of my bubble and knowing other cultures, knowing other people. And then I realized, hey, things are really different. They are not as I thought as they are or they have to be. So there is a life outside of my bubble. And then I started reading books, like talking to people, talking about their topics. And I mean, maybe this is also the reason why we are connected right now, because there's this energy, right? And then you are connected with the people who has the same energy
Mm.
than you. Yeah, and I guess this is when it started. So yeah, I read books and went to Zen classes, Zen courses. Yeah, this is the journey.
Yeah, yeah, lovely. And if you're happy to share, but what was your bubble before?
Mm, I mean, my bubble was my family and my friends. I think everyone has that bubble. And also, then that you start to realize what your parents taught you is not always the best, or it is not always right. I mean, my parents, and I hope, and I knew that every parent tries his best. Yeah, even they are making mistakes, or even they are doing things that are not right. But I guess so that in that moment they cannot do it better, because otherwise they would have done it better in that situation. So realizing that I am not the product of my parents, so what they taught me, or also what society taught me, or what my friends taught me. And realizing that was a big shift
Mhm.
in my life, and also in my mind. But at the beginning it was hard, because on some point, I guess, you need to die, or something has to die, that something new can rise.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, that's it's such an important aspect about life, the change and the death, just as you say, the death, so, and the rebirth, like even just like the seasons now, and being in autumn and all the leaves are falling, and it just happens over and over again. So
Over
summer
and over
can come
again.
back later, and um yeah, it's just so much part of nature. And a lot of times I think people struggle, and actually I can count myself part of that in the past, struggling to go with the change, to go with that, the part of what makes us human, part of this existence, this whole change thing was really hard for me. And I can see that, like, for a lot of people it is still tough. And so I think it's amazing how you know had become that awareness of needing to, of seeing, and of you know acknowledging and accepting how things are, and maybe not as you thought they were anymore, or appreciating what was, and then actually also looking at the change and what was necessary, and to keep moving. So,
Absolutely.
mm.
And yes, and you're saying that life is tough, and I mean, this is right. But actually, at the end, life is whatever it is, okay? But what our mind tries to do is like find these categories in, this is good, this is bad. And I mean, you went through some shit, I went through some shit, but we never know if that would never have happened where we were right now. So um, maybe it was good, maybe it was bad. We will never know. But at the end, it was just what it is, or what it was.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about your DJing as well. How did that start? When did?
Uh, so it started 2016,
Mhm.
I guess it was. So we were supposed to be a DJ duo. We were two. It was me and my best friend. So we started to 2016, and so it was basically, it was his idea, because he was, yeah, he had that little controller, like $50, and just played at home. And so I was with him every day, and then we said, okay, hey, let's start with music, let's do DJing. And at that time we both worked in a gym as a
Mhm.
personal coach, um, and we had that huge room in the back, where all the classes were. And there they had these equipments, these DJ equipments, very, very old. And we went there every Saturday, maybe for 1 year, and just played music. We had fun there, just him and I. It was fun. And yeah, and then we started going to bars, ask if we can play there. And there was one guy, he's a friend right now. He did the booking for one bar. It was on top of the gym. And when we played there, it was a disaster. Like nothing worked. And I mean, the tracks we have chosen, they were good, but the mixing was a disaster. And you could hear it that there are two
Yeah.
songs playing right now. Yeah, but this guy, he said, hey, you can come again, and you're a newcomer, you just started right now, so go ahead, continue, don't give up. And yeah, and this is how it started. And then so beginning of this year, beginning 2023, my best friend, he went to a serious job and he wanted to start his career there. um i I said to him that if I could decide, I would do it with him together, like 50-50. I need him all, like put everything in. But he said that he wants to start his career at his job. And so 2023, I started to play as a solo artist.
Mhm.
And yeah, and right now, here I am, hopefully play next year
Yeah.
in Latin America. That would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. No, I can see you there. So I think I'm sure that will happen
Yeah.
for you.
I I hope so. I hope so. I try my best that I can get there.
Fantastic. So 2023, this is the year where you started to be a solo artist. So how was that journey for you
Um,
so
it
far?
was it is kind of interesting because as I mentioned right now, if I could have decided, I would do it with him because we started together. But I see the things as a chance. So for example, when we were together, we have to communicate a lot. And at that time, I I played the guitar, but I was not playing the guitar while I was performing, or I was not playing the guitar for our own tracks, for our own releases. But right now, I can put myself more into the Butchvoyage project, like playing the guitar, like I decide what song and stuff. So it is different, but it is also a chance for me to grow independently as an artist.
Yes, yes. Um, and I've seen some of your guitar playing as well. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about like what does guitar playing mean to you?
Maybe I can start when I started playing the guitar. It was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and I was a really beginner. I taught myself everything, but at that time I was with my ex-girlfriend, and she was always late. So when she came later, so I played the guitar. When we had a fight and I did not feel so good, I played the guitar for coming down. As I said, being in the moment, just yeah, don't think too much. And yeah, playing the guitar helps me a lot for yeah, don't think too much and don't put too much stress in my life, or when I felt stressed, that I play the guitar at the end. Um, yeah, and so right now what I do is that every song I produce right now has a part where the guitar playing,
Yeah.
where you can hear the guitar playing. Yeah, so this is where my songs are going to be. It starts with the song Hold On. The song Hold On is not out now yet, but it maybe I will release it maybe in January or February.
Mhm.
So there is it where it starts with the guitar in my songs.
Wow, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I will release it right now, but that takes time, like, and the music video and the mastering. So yeah, I
Yeah.
have to be patient.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah,
That
yeah,
excitement, you already would love for it to be out, but there's certain
yeah.
steps
Absolutely,
still to do.
absolutely. Yeah, I would describe myself as a patient person, but
Mhm.
when it comes to music, I would love if it would be faster, but yeah, there are, as you said, step by step.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally understand. It's like actually I've made a song this year, and I can feel that desire to just want to throw it out there.
Yeah.
But also it's like, there's that, okay, that patience aspect. So yeah, it's like when you're really excited about something you've created and you want just, to bring it out there. I totally understand how, even if you're a patient person, the energy can be
Absolutely.
really pulling.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you want to share what you have done as soon as possible, but
Yeah.
sometimes it is more wisely when you take your
Mhm.
time.
Yes. So I'm now curious about the listeners who are perhaps, artists who always have been thinking about creating a song, or always have been thinking about, I'd love to be a DJ or something like that, a dream that they have, which, maybe feels like just a far off dream. Oftentimes, people have dreams and then they're like, oh, it's just a dream. So I'm curious to hear from you, and like, what would you tell them? Like, what would be some of your words to them, how to approach something if they do have a dream, whether that's music or.
Um, there just came a quote up into my mind. I don't know who said that, but it is dreams without dreams. No, dreams without goals are just dreams.
Mhm.
So, I mean, as we just said, you need a plan step by step with goals, where you want to be, what you want to do. Um, that doesn't mean that you can be in the moment right now and accept where you are, but like make yourself a plan, make a list what your goals are and where you want to be, and then just do the list every day. And huge advice what I can give is, it is about consistency. Like, never stop. I think there are so many people out there who are creative and they start being creative, but at one time they quit. So yeah, if you want to share what you do, whatever it is, arts, music, no matter, go ahead, never stop.
Yeah. What helps you to be consistent? Like, let's say, like you, and we all get to a certain challenge, and then maybe that for somebody maybe a reason to stop or whatever like that. What makes you continue?
Discipline. I mean, I have to do some things every day what I don't like. It is, I mean, being a musician doesn't mean only doing music and playing the guitar. It's also doing things I don't like. And when I wake up one day and I'm not motivated to do anything, then I need discipline. So there's no excuse why I do not do anything today for Butchvoyage, for music. No excuse why I don't do the songwriting today or anything. So you need to be disciplined. Without discipline, I mean, when you're motivated, okay, but when you don't feel the motivation, what you do then? So you need discipline. And I think discipline is something you can learn. It is just something you have to accept, what you have to do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a link to consistency, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. No, I hear you. um I also, and what I guess, like, what else is like, you must be so connected also to your work. It must feel like, truly aligned to you. And I mean, that's what it looks like, and that's what it sounds like and feels like. um Maybe there's also that aspect for some people to, you know I don't know, align, figure out what their thing is, or their true selves. Like, tell me more about that from your perspective.
Yeah, so maybe it is about yeah, you need to try some things and at the end you fail. And either you go ahead or either you decide not to do it. I mean, I did so many sports in the past, like I did karate, I did basketball, I did tennis, I went to the gym, and by doing that, I also want to be successful in some way. But at the end, it feels like, okay, this is not the thing what I want to do. The this is not my path. And yeah, this is maybe just the feeling we were talking about in the beginning. So yeah, just try some things and then you see if you will like it or not. And also talk to people, what are their experience, what they, if they have an advice for you, or just yeah, be with the people, talk to them, and try some things.
Yes, yes. No, great advice, and it's so true. Um, I still have a couple of questions. So one about the creativity itself. So was there any time in your life where you felt that you weren't very creative, and how was that reflected in your life, if at all? And what has changed since you are being so much involved with your creativity?
I think there is, from time to time, there is always a period where you don't feel that you are very creative. For example, like I would say the time when I need the highest creativity is when I'm writing my songs. So I'm sitting then downstairs on the table and yeah, just play the guitar and yeah, whatever it comes to my mind, I try to build a song or trying new chords or something. Um, and I had that very often. I was sitting there, okay, now I need a song, but I don't feel creative. And this happens when I need to do it. For example, I don't have my own studio, so that means I work with executive producers. I go into their studio and then they help me and stuff. And I have every 2 weeks I have appointments with them, and so I know when I go to their place I need to deliver. And when it comes to that point, it feels like that I am not that creative. Most of the I am very creative when I don't need to be creative. For example, when I'm sitting in the car, listening to radio, listening to music, then just anything came up into my mind. And then I put the record on and just singing randomly something. And then I go back home, listen to the recording, and then I write the song lyrics and stuff. And so this is how my creativity works. And yeah, again, like I think this happens all the time. There are periods where you're not that creative. And as I said, just keep on doing this. Don't stop. Don't quit. And maybe just take 5 minutes for yourself. Sit down, relax, breathe, and then creativity.
Yeah.
Maybe comes up. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And what you described is actually I don't know if I want to call it global phenomenon, but it's kind of like when we relax, like whether that's in in the car or in the shower or something like that, when we do something that's relaxing, but it's kind of like a focused relax, that's when the creativity comes. So it's like a great reminder, actually, what you just shared is like, the power of sometimes not just constantly producing and doing and, trying to force it, but to actually be in a state of presence, I guess, or something along those lines to allow it to come to you as well. And perhaps
True.
a bit of both. Mm.
Yeah, true. As you mentioned, I think presence is the key because real creativity, this is how I think it happens, is something that happens beyond your mind. So it's something that is just coming from wherever, from your consciousness, from your awareness. But I don't think that everyone had that, like, okay, sitting down, now I have to think, what can I write? What can I do? This is, I don't think that this is creativity. It is just something that is coming through you
Yeah.
without knowing or without doing anything.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. And I experience it just how you just mentioned it. It's like this coming through you is like you're channeling it through, and
Absolutely.
it's a different energy than really just trying to think about it and producing it that way. Yeah, I love it. Um, what has DJing and music making taught you for your life? Like that's the gift that you're taking from it so far, if you were to come up
You
with
mean
something.
what music taught me, or what is?
Yeah, it can be anything. It's quite a broad question, to be honest, but it's more of like through the experience of DJing, what's the biggest gift, I guess, that you got from it for your personal life or for how you experience life? Anything that comes up for you. There's no real
Yeah,
limit.
I think it is it is about appreciating life itself, because music shows us every day how wonderful life is, or how sad also life can be. I mean, we all had that when we were suffering, then we're listening to a moody song and then it supports the mood, or when we want to have a better feeling, then we're listening to a happy song or something like that. So yeah, enjoying and accepting the life however it is, because this is what music is about. Like, it is not good or bad, it is just music, and we can use it for every moment in life, for feeling better or also for feeling a bit more sad, whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Um, so finally, just is there anything that you want to share with everyone about where you're going to be playing next, or with your new releases, anything that you feel is important that you want to share?
Yes, of course I can.
Mhm.
So the next shows I play are in Berlin. It is mm, the November Saturday. What is it? Is it 18th, 17th?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it
Sorry, I'm
is.
just
It
saying yes,
is.
but
It is November 18th in
yeah.
Berlin, and also November 24th, also in Berlin. I play there. And yeah, if you guys want to support an artist, it is not only me. What is important is, like, yeah, sharing their music, listening to their music. If you like it, a follow on Spotify, a follow on Instagram is also important. I mean, this is the world right now, how artists can also be successful. So yeah, feel free to share all the channels and listen to the music if you like. And yeah, as I mentioned before, a general advice, guys, yeah, if you want to be an artist, it's about consistency, never stop, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who should do it then? So um you make it worth what you do. So yeah, keep on doing what you love.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. That
You're
was
welcome.
wonderful. Dennis Butchvoyage, super, really cool. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me too.
Um, and before we go, can we do one thing? It's something that I wanted to bring in new. Can you think of a question that I could ask as the opening question for the next interview guest on the
Okay.
spot?
A spiritual question or an
Yeah, it could be anything that you feel. It's completely up to you.
okay, so because we were talking about the deep, really deep conversation, I don't know if it is an opener, but you can ask, what do you think who, or what do you think who you are? What is the essence of yourself?
Mm, I love it.
I
I
mean, it's
can't
a
wait to hear what the question will be from the next person. I'll tell you about it as well.
I mean, it's a really deep question, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love those kind of questions and conversations. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation today with you. Thank you again so much for being part of this show. And yeah,
Thanks so much for your lovely questions, for your deep questions. I loved being here. Thank you so much.
thank you very much.